Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Marka Peterson. I chose the 360 feedback individual intervention for my occupational development presentation. There are many thoughts and opinions from experts about this method. I found all the information that I uncovered to be very interesting and enlightening. This next slide, titled 360 Feedback, gives a definition from the text. Multi-source or 360 feedback systems are methods by which individuals can receive feedback from a wide range of people with whom they work. This type of feedback can be a powerful source for personal reflections and change, and it became increasingly popular in the 1990s, prompted in part by trends towards gathering more customer feedback, as well as a Fortune magazine article that proclaimed 360 feedback can change your life. I thought this picture represents the framework for a 360 feedback method, gathering information and then putting together a puzzle with the feedback with a few pieces at a time. And once the puzzle is put together, a larger picture is revealed. On the flip side, leaving holes in the puzzle causes big problems down the line. This next slide is titled The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. 360-degree feedback is a process used to measure an employee's strengths and weaknesses, not their performance. This method can also be used for self-assessment. It might provide a well-rounded view of one's behaviors and set skills, and an excellent way for organizational teams to get a more complete picture of an employee. Most companies follow the same implementation plan and timeline of events, although turnaround times vary depending on the company's schedules, individual schedules, and cooperation. This isn't a quick OD assessment method. The process can take up to 4 months for completion. This process will be anonymous, and all evaluators get the same questions about the participants. This next slide is titled What the Experts Are Saying. Many folks are opposed to this method, and Liz Ryan is one of them. She wrote an article for Forbes titled The Horrible Truth About 360-Degree Feedback. She says in the article, 360-degree feedback offers weak people the perfect opportunity to take pot shots at their colleagues, sends the false message that mechanized, inhuman batches of disconnected feedback are just as good as human, contextual, supportive coaching, but every living being knows that isn't true. Jack Zinger and Joseph Folkman wrote a great article also titled Getting 360-Degree Reviews Right. And I really like this quote from the article. That is, your own perception of yourself is rarely accurate or predictive. This next slide is the implementation plan. And it's a schedule and timeline that I might use in my current organization for the 360 feedback process and procedure. There are 8 steps. The first step is the 360 communication rollout. This is critical. It is when all interested parties are notified of expectations, deadlines, and timelines. And then the next step is the selection of the evaluators. Evaluators serve a vital function to make sure data is complete. The next is distributing the surveys. This step is done through email with instructions on how to complete the survey. The fourth step is actually completing the questionnaire. This is the longest stage and needs a deadline attached at the beginning of the process to ensure that all evaluators have completed their survey by the chosen date. The next is producing the reports. All the feedback has been gathered and evaluated, and now reports are generated. The 6 are, it's actually the manager's comment meeting. This is scheduled so that leaders in the organization can discuss the participants' results and necessary steps to move forward with graphing the information. The next is development graph, and this is the core of the process. Each participant will receive a customized graph. The graph is the feedback results, and this is what will be made into a development plan. The last step is reassessment, and this process should be completed between 8 and 12 months following the participant's first 360 feedback method. Therefore, this is not a single event, but a continuation for possible revisions to the development plan. This next slide shows a few strengths and weaknesses of the Occupational Development 360 feedback method. Some pros would be that it gives patterns for improvements. It evaluates participants' skills. It also gives good feedback, perhaps for improving personal skills and behaviors in the office. And it graphs the feedback, making a complete picture of the employee. Now, some weaknesses of this method would be that the process can exacerbate bureaucracy and heighten political tensions between upper and lower management. It consumes a lot of time from beginning to end. Like I said before, this is a long process. And then some questions once you receive the feedback that you're going to need to ask is the feedback going to be beneficial for the participant? And will the feedback be constructive since it was generated by peers? Thank you so much.